Hey everyone, it's Frankie-Lou. I'm out here today in my very, very messy garden where both myself and my ducks and chickens are playing today. I'm babysitting them while they have a little fun out here in the garden. And I am prepping up some more milk jugs. Yes, it is April 24th, and no, that is not too late to be winter sowing, particularly if you live on the prairies like I do. Believe it or not, even though it's 13 degrees here today, it was snowing yesterday morning, and we actually just went through a very prolonged cold spell. Cold even for what we're used to here, where we had over a week where the nighttime temperatures were about minus 10, and honestly, we didn't go over zero for several days in a row. So I know that for those gardeners who've decided to take up winter sowing for the first time this year, that was pretty stressful because a lot of folks were seeing some germination, and then they were worried that their plants are all going to die with this prolonged cold spell. I decided to take the benign neglect approach to it and just leave my jugs. I did no intervention whatsoever with the milk jugs that I had going out in my garden here for my hardy perennials and my hardy veggies, and even some of the more tender stuff had been started here. So I'm going to show you here what's happened, and I hope that might convince you that winter sowing is a pretty cool thing to do. Okay, so first I'm going to take you in here to see what is that. Okay, those are peas. Now, those peas were planted on March 13th, and they were well up when that cold snap hit, and guess what? They're fine. I did nothing at all. I just left them the way they are. Let's see, what else do we have here? Oh, okay, here we go. We have a nice Wildflower Blend. This one was designed specifically for bees, which I am a beekeeper, so I love. And guess what? March 15th. Those were up before the cold spell. Still fine, okay? And, oh, here we go. And then we have some carrots here that I planted. They had just started to come up. They were planted on March 9th. Looking great, okay? And I'm going through all my various plants here. Here's some flowering kale that had started to come up. Still there, still doing fine. Here we have some, this I'm very excited about. I have never used Leeks before with the milk jug method, and I will be doing it from now on because guess what? Even my leeks are coming up. So I hope you get the idea there. I could go on and continue to show you, inside all of these many, many jugs. But basically, apart from one jug, it appears that everything that had germinated prior to this cold snap has made it. Okay, there's one jug that didn't, and it's funny because it was sitting next to another jug of exactly the same thing, planted on exactly the same date, and that was some Guyland. I believe the reason that one didn't make it is because when I lifted the jug up, it did feel light, so I may have neglected to water that. So that is one thing that you do want to keep an eye on. You do want to keep watering these jugs, checking them. If they feel light, put them in a basin of water. So for those of you who are stressing out, I guess what I want to say is if you like fussing over your plants and you want to worry about your seedlings, maybe winter sowing isn't for you. Yes, you may lose the occasional plant here and there with these variations in temperature, but if you're doing what I do, which is keeping your jugs all grouped together, making sure you're maintaining them, checking to see if they need watering, and once they do germinate and come up really nice and full, and if you get a really hot day, it's a good idea to move those into a area that gets morning sun only. But as you can see, I left these jugs entirely exposed because I wanted to experiment and be as harsh as I could be, because here in zone 3 it can get really harsh. And guess what? Wonderful. I can just keep plugging along, and I know that with these warm temperatures that we're getting now, I'm going to see a lot more germination over the next few days, and I'm going to continue planting. That's another thing. It's not too late. I am putting out today, I'm going to do a whole bunch more of my more tender flowers But I'm also going to put out some more hardy perennials. I'm putting some more of my licorice mint out because I can never have enough of that. And I'm also going to get started on some lemon balm and some of those more tender things like scarlet runners and nasturtiums. And I'm going to do some really fun experiments with this, where I'm hoping to see if I can do true winter sowing with cucumbers and tomatoes in these, okay? Because it didn't work so well in the smaller jugs last year, but maybe it'll work in here. I don't know. I'm going to try, and I'll give you guys an update and see how it goes, okay? So as always, please do continue to send me those messages. That is the best way for me to know what you want to see here, particularly when it comes to winter sowing, because I know there's a ton of questions. Because honestly, you wonder, how can this ever work? It works. Trust the process, okay? And so continue to send those questions. Do subscribe if you want to see some of the other fun things we have going on. I'm going to be doing some beekeeping because my bees are really busy. I'm going to be doing some spring prep in the garden soon because I'm starting to see some of the local pollinators show up. As always, I hope you'll take this chance to grow together today. Have a good one.